children. Kind of relationship you want your girls to have. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 5 years in prison, suspended and probated for 5 years. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Kimberly Destiny Ortiz. That relationship is over. You are not to call her, you're not to write her, you're not to send her flowers saying, I'm sorry. Please remember the old times. You understand?
I'm done.
He's through, Judge.
Yeah, I'm through with that.
All right, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. The BIPP course. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. 300 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to require parenting classes. Once he completes the parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Gang evaluation. Field visits. 1 time per month for 3 months. Are you a gang member?
No, ma'am.
So you just putting 210 on your neck for no reason whatsoever.
Like 15 years ago, yes.
You were 15?
So
15 years
16, yeah. 15
Oh,
years ago.
15 years ago. Oh, okay. We're gonna do the MRT for him because he needs to start making better decisions. I mean, I don't understand just getting a 210.
Wasn't thinking.
That was 15 years ago.
Yes.
He's,
Okay. MRT. Let's see. Is there anything else, probation? All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement. Because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction and an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We can go off the record. In this court, communication is key. In order to be successful on probation, you need to make sure that you're in touch with your probation officer. If you feel as though they're not addressing some issue you have, you can always come back to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and keep your hands to yourself.
I know that. Yeah, I will, ma'am, from now on.
All right.
Believe me.
And are you currently in a relationship?
No, I'm not looking for no relationship right
All right, before you even think about getting a relationship, Cadiz, what should you do? Get an orchid. All right. They're selling them now, all at Walmart, HEB, everywhere. Get one. And when you get it, the flowers are in bloom. It looks all pretty. You bring it back. And once those flowers fall off, if you can get it to rebloom again, you too may be ready for a relationship. And the reason why I say that, orchids take patience. Like you get that little tag where they tell you what to do and they say put 2 ice cubes in it. When you do your research, you're not supposed to put ice cubes in it. Then they like indirect sunlight, but then you may get one that says, who told you I liked indirect sunlight? And it doesn't bloom again. So if you do that, you will have learned patience.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Adriana. All right, and Mr. Gonzalez, did you have a chance to think things over and talk to whomever you wanted to talk to?
Yes.
Okay. All right, court is calling 2019 CR 9517 and 2020 CR 6198, State of Texas versus Jesse Jason Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
We're ready, Your Honor.
And your name?
David Levinson.
All right, and are you Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes.
Are you the same Jesse Jason Gonzalez who was placed on community supervision in 2019 CR 9517 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, less than 1 gram, on October 29, 2019 for a term of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes.
And are you the same Jesse Jason Gonzalez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 6198 for the offense of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon on July 8, 2020 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the same allegation in each motion?
We are, Your Honor, although we were going to also in the 2020 CR 6198, we're going to proceed on an additional, the allegation, violation alleged in the supplemental, motion today.
All right, well, I don't have the supplemental motion. Let me see.
Judge, we can waive that one, because I mean, if he's gonna plead on the,
Okay.
we don't necessarily need this.
All right, any objection to the state reading one allegation and the client, thank you, and the defendant answering for both motions? Defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Jesse Jason Gonzalez did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of December 2022 and January 2023 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. And Your Honor, we waive the other violations alleged in both of the motions.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5 and the cause number ending in 17? The court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $1,500 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. And the cause number ending in 98, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5? The court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We're asking that you deny the motion, continue the defendant in, on both clauses, and then extends to, follow the probation's recommendation, which is to extend the probation to complete the state ISF cognitive track, followed by ISP, Judge.
All right, why should I follow that? He's been missing. You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Jesse Jason Gonzalez,
Where have you been?
been in Uvalde, Texas. I've been changing my life over there.
Well, I mean, changing your life is not forgetting that you have a probation. So what have you been doing in Uvalde?
Working. I have a 7-week-old child. I haven't seen him.
All right, I don't understand why people decide to have children when they have cases hanging over their head. So you have a 7-week child that you have not seen.
Yes.
And where is this child located?
With the grandparents.
And where is that? Uvalde?
Texas.
All right, so if they're with the grandparents, that means they're not with the mother, so,
The mother's here in the crowd
oh, okay.
She's in-
So why is she here?
to support.
What, is she planning on testifying?
No, Your Honor. Your Honor, he wanted to also ask you if you would transfer the probation at some point to Uvalde because he wants to move there with his family
To change.
and change his life. And he understands he needs to report and be clean. He'll only have, maybe a year left on probation to complete. And once he finishes this cognitive program, he's hoping that he will be able to complete.
Probation, what are you all recommending? I know people see him and they're like, he's so young, he weighs 90 pounds.
Your Honor, On the recommendation from the probation CSO, it does indicate extend to complete state ISF cognitive track followed by ISP. And that is on both his cases.
So has he picked up any new offenses?
Show me, not that we're showing.
So where you been working?
MG's building material in Uvalde, Texas,
What do you do?
forklifts
How long you been doing that?
for about the past 8 months already.
Judge, so I've been speaking to defense counsel, and he did need some time to think about it, Judge, but I explained to defense counsel's told me that he explained to the defendant that this is sort of the end of the road here. He's got to do this ISF, he's got to comply, or we're going for the 5 years, Judge. So he understands, and I know he should have understood already, but you know, the options here are limited. It's either the state ISF and compliance, or it's 5 years in prison. So I believe that he wants to try to.
All right, so here's my question for all parties involved. ISF in this case would be really a punishment, sort of, and to change his way of thinking, which it already should have been changed. But then is he gonna lose his job in Uvalde if he's waiting for ISF?
He's already been incarcerated, waiting for this hearing.
But no, my question
And
is
they're still.
he
holding-
gonna lose his job?
Yeah, they're still holding my job. But I was supposed to be over there sometime when I get out, but they don't. I told them like 2 weeks, and they said.
Well, that
2
was the
weeks.
wrong thing to tell them.
So, whatever. And then, on behalf of my girlfriend, Megan Lopez, she's the one that has contact with them too, so.
He has support and family. His father's here. He's got a lot of brothers, cousins. He has a lot of family support. And me, I've known him his whole life. I've read him the Riot Act, and hopefully this is like the prosecutor said, his last chance. He knows once he gets out, he's got a report, he's
Yeah.
got a test, and you know.
I mean,
he's
he should
pretty
have
much-
known that before. How old are you?
I'm 23 years old.
He's really close to finishing, and we're asking the court to give him this one last chance, and we'll see what happens. And if I'm here again in a year, well, no. If not, we'll be in good shape.
And the reason why I moved to Uvalde, Texas, to change my environment and for the people, places, and things that I wasn't. My environment.
Well, I mean, that doesn't help. So, for example, changing people, places, and things. That's what they say when they're in NA and AA. But guess what? NA and AA also tells you that you are supposed to take care of your responsibilities. And you didn't take care of this responsibility because did you turn yourself in?
No,
Somebody had to go find you and pick you up.
He was stopped, or he was driving, and it was this traffic stop.
Mhm. And then you're not obeying the rules of the road. People get a little bit lax when they've been driving for a while.
I don't know if there was a conviction on the stop or not.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. And cause number 2019 CR 9517. I'm gonna deny the motion and terminate you unsatisfactorily. And then in 2020 CR 6198. Is he able to be placed on GPS if he's in Uvalde? I'm going to deny the motion, alternate amend conditions. And it's going to include parenting classes. GPS partial for 180 days. And it's partial for employment only. What that means is all you can do is go to work and go back home. And the way GPS works, if there's a barbecue, you're not even allowed to go into the backyard to get the plate
Yes, ma'am.
or reach out the window. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we going to allow transfer to Uvalde?
Yes.
Yes, Judge.
All right. And then there'll be a transfer to Uvalde. And this is where your punishment comes in. Your probation is going to be extended for 3 years. Anything else?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much for understanding and trying to give me that second chance to show.
All right, you better do better. All right.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, just parenting classes and pretty much it.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge. I really appreciate it.
All right. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. 0 State of Texas versus Amber Lay Holland. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Albert Fosco the third.
All right. And off the record for a moment. Deputy Laura, could you move Mr. Mauer and his client down towards there? All right. We're back on the record. And are you Miss Holland?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Holland.
Holland. Okay. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Holland, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we are waiving count 1 and proceeding on a lesser included of count 2, possession of a controlled substance, PG1, less than a gram.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Ms. Holland, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Holland, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial? Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding under count 2 to the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. There's a $1,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. And there's $57 to the Bear County Criminal Investigation Laboratory for testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
I did, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
And Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 150 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
Yes, state offers states exhibit 1 and its attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Ms. Holland, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. Evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, just after reviewing everything going over with my client, we ask that you follow our plea bargain agreement. I believe she's accepting responsibility and wanting to show the court that she could be successful on this probation. So just ask that you follow it.
All right, are you employed?
Yes, ma'am. I've been employed at the same company for 14 years.
What do you do?
Administrative assistant for a construction company.
What does that entail?
I do the books. I do billing, invoicing.
Do you have any children?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Do you live by yourself?
I just purchased a home last year. I live with, my boyfriend lives with me,
And who is your boyfriend?
James Jones,
How old is he?
43.
What's his date of birth? How long have you been together?
On and off for about 3 years.
So does anybody want to look up Mr. James Jones? 1/18/1980. Does he have a criminal history?
He got a DWI, but no.
Anything
I
else?
mean, years and years ago, like 15 years ago, but not with drugs.
What did he have?
I believe it was a robbery.
What's the date of birth, Judge?
1/18/1980.
Joe
Yes.
had a robbery case, Judge, that he was sentenced in 2000. He got an 8-year sentence on a robbery case on March 27th of 2012. I don't see any other local history other than that.
All right. So let me just tell you why I asked that, because people are always like, Judge, why are you in my business? All right. So the reason why I ask these questions of who people are living with is because I want you to make sure that you're on the right track to complete this successfully. I take no joy in people being on probation and then failing probation and maybe going to prison. And I think you don't want to end up going to prison. So usually they always want to know who people are surrounding themselves with. And honestly, in the life that you only have one life to live, and you need to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with positive people. People say you can't choose your family. That's true, but you can choose to cut them loose if they're not being a positive influence. And you definitely should not be bringing someone into your life that's not going to be a positive influence. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's why I asked these questions.
No problem.
Does he have any children?
They're both out of state. He has 2 children.
Are they adults or no?
Oh, no, they're youngsters. One is 4 and one is 13.
And if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
All right. Have you ever used drugs?
I've used drugs in the past.
Oh.
In 2007, I got clean. I've been clean, not that I haven't relapsed a couple times throughout the years. I have a job. I hold a 802 FICO. I've held the same job for 14 years.
Mhm.
I'm very blessed. I'm with Celebrate Recovery. I go to NA and I'm with Revolution Church, a member to Revolution Church.
Okay. I've heard of all those things. I've heard of Revolution Church as well. Okay. All right. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing further, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. There is $1,000 fine that'll be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. Proof of employment within 15 days. And I'm giving you 15 days because you say you're already employed. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. So what that means is if Mr. Jones' children come down to visit from wherever they are, and he wants to go do a grocery store run or something else and leave you with the children, he can't. You understand?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
There's to be regular reporting. That's by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs and probation. If possible, I want a UA today. And so there'll be a UA today. And let me know what those results are. 150 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. If you want to buy out of your community service hours, that will be at $7.25 per hour. And it can be a donation to the San Antonio Food Bank. If there's some other place you would like to donate it to, let me know and I'll consider it. I just put the food bank because I know that sometimes there is a shortage. There's to be $57 restitution to the laboratory for testing. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And if there are no issues, then the field visits can be suspended. All right, probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, and before you do your UA, do you need water or anything?
Probably bottle of water, sure.
All right, so counsel, your client needs to drink some water before she takes her UA.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you, Judge.
All right, just, yes, well, we may need you to hang around until we have our results.
Okay,
Thank you. Could I? Holly?
Yeah.
And could I see the file on that, please? All right, so you want to change, could we go on the, oh, that's okay, that's fine. You want to change what you told the court earlier about your UA and what it's going to be?
Well, I thought it's been 3 days, so I did think.
No. See, here, you're playing games with me because I asked you about your usage and you made it appear as though you hadn't used in forever, which I already knew.
Oh, no, I have relapses. I do have.
Nope. See, you're doing semantics with me, and I don't like when people do semantics, because here's the thing. I am trying to give you conditions that you will be successful at. Now, let me just tell you what you told me, because my mind is a steel trap. You made it appear as though you hadn't used meth for a while. What you told me was, oh, yes, of course I've had relapses. But you didn't tell the court that you had relapses 3 days ago. And you knew that you more likely than not were going to test positive for meth and all of the things else that you tested positive for.
And I
But let me
questioned
just
whether I
check.
should come back up and tell you.
No, but you didn't. And I can tell you what you did, because I know what people do. You were praying all your way for that UA, and you were praying when you requested a bottle of water, praying that it was going to be negative. And now it wasn't. And so now you know what's going to end up happening.
punishment.
Is that person here, Mr. James Jones? Yeah, Mr. James Jones, you're gonna have to find someplace else to live. You cannot live with her. There's gonna be a no contact order. And you know why? You can have a seat, Mr. Jones. You know why there's gonna be a no contact order? There's gonna be a no contact order because I know for a fact that even if you don't intend to get a haircut, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, you're gonna get a haircut. And if you are using, you know what that means? That means that he's using. And that means that he is not a person who should be in your life, that he is holding you back. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're not going to be having any contact with him.
Can I take a UA? Because I've been clean since 2011.
So there's to be no contact with James Jones, and he had better find a new place to stay. And the fact that he's staying with you and is not trying to get you help for your drug use, that's another reason why he shouldn't be in your life.
He has. though.
He's not
Just
good
got
for
out
you.
of rehab.
He's not good. I'm sorry, what?
Just got out of rehab.
See, that's the problem. You should not be hanging around with people who just got out of rehab because both of you all are struggling. And the fact that you testing positive for drugs, and I guarantee you, he can say all he wants. I'll do a UA now.
No, he really
No.
is clean.
No. You're not to live with him. You're not to have contact with him. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if I find out that you are living with him or having contact with him, that's going to be a violation of your probation and you're going to end up going to the state jail facility. And guess what? If you go to the state jail facility, he's not going to be there with you because it's not co-ed. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So there's to be no contact with James Jones. I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month, and I'm going to want that random so we can see if she is allowing him to live there. And I'm going to want a TAP evaluation and follow the recommendations of TAP. If TAP wants inpatient treatment, we'll start with outpatient treatment to begin with, intensive outpatient treatment. And instead of regular UAs, I'm going to want the UA hotline. And I'm going to want a referral to felony drug court. And let me explain something to you. In this court, honesty is really the best policy because that tells me whether or not you are in a specific phase of your sobriety. The fact that you're not being honest tells me you're deep in the throes of your addiction. And how old are you?
47, almost 47.
All right. So you're getting to the point in your life where you're going to have more of your life behind you than in front of you. But guess what? You are walking on the edge of a knife with that statement I just made. You know why? Because you're throwing into your life the fact that you have a drug addiction and you're using drugs and you never know what you're going to get. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So Mr. Jones is out of your life. And I know you love him. You probably think this is the end of the world, but guess what? This is not Romeo and Juliet. You're not a teenager. He hasn't been in your life as long as you've been alive. So you need to sell away from him. All right. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
If you violate this, you're going to be coming over here answering for this case in a blue uniform. And you know why it's going to be blue? Because you're going to be in custody.
Yes, ma'am. I want this pension.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Court is calling 2024 CR 0937, State of Texas versus Alfredo Lugo. Just for a moment off the record. Counsels, if y'all could not talk behind the court reporter, because we're on the record, if you want, the deputy can move you down to the other end. All right, back on the record. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ed Garza from Mr. Lugo.
And are you Mr. Lugo? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review that with your client?
We did, yeah.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Lugo, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Going to show you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? All right, Mr. Lugo, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Okay.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could, off the record for a moment, excuse me, the lady in the black top with the red or burgundy spots on it, are you on the docket today? Are you here for someone else? I'm sorry? All right, so you need to move because you're flirting with the inmate. That's not allowed. So you need to step outside. Deputy, remove her. And who were you here for? All right, guy with the gold glasses. And lady, you're flirting with somebody who's an inmate. That means that he's not doing anything for you. And you're down here where you should probably be at work. And if you have children, you should be concentrating on your children. You're not allowed back in the courtroom. You're excused. You know you should not be flirting with people in the crowd. This is not a dating show. And while we're off the record, Mr. Gonzalez, I noticed a mark on your arm. You need to make sure you have a doctor look at that, okay? Don't wait till the last minute.
But just, that was his wife, and I.
Yeah, that's no flirting.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah. Still not able to flirt. No flirting in the courtroom. Yeah. All right, we're back on the record. Again, did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lugo, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication, and there's to be restitution for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State? Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 120 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand that was a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Okay.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Okay.
State any evidence.
No objection.
All right, state you may continue to confer. Mr. Lugo, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor, please.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just asked the court to follow the recommendation, Judge.
All right, Mr. Lugo, who is Blaine Younger?
The person who was working for me,
All right, and who is Elvira Lugo?
my wife,
All right. Do you have any children?
um,
How old are you?
58,
All right. Does she have any children?
they're all grown up. They're not with us.
All right. Grandchildren?
They're, yes, grandchildren.
And how old are the grandchildren?
They range from 21 to 10, I think.
All right, I'm doing the math in my head. And that something's not working out. How old is she?
She's 62.
Oh, now the math is working out. Okay. Before it wasn't working out. All right. So are you currently employed?
I have self-contract.
All right. So if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Keep it clean.
All right. So what are you doing with meth?
The wrong person, it was not even my man, anything. Yeah, he was found in the vehicle, but Blaine was the one that was carrying it.
Well, you know, the law has this thing called care, custody, and control,
Yes.
and whether or not it's within your reach. So you're driving and it's in the center console.
That's what the officer said. So,
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to a $1,500 fine. That will be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. 120 hours community service restitution. Proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. No unsupervised contact with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. And I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And then at probation's discretion. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Yes. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
all right.
Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. To be successful on probation in this court, communication is key. If there's an issue with your probation officer, or if you need something, let them know. If you feel like they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. And tell your children and grandchildren I said hello. All right, just have a seat. Probation is going to go over conditions with you.
May I be excused now?
Yes. All right, are the parties here on Kendrick?